Bust it.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform. My name is Amechi Anapo. Good news for the Nigerian economy. The figures released by the National Bureau of Statistics on Tuesday indicates that for 2017, the economy grew by 0.83%, an improvement from figures posted in 2016 when the economy went into recession. The data also provided by the Bureau indicates that the last quarter, that's fourth quarter 2017, the economy performed very well, 1.92%, to help push up the progress that was made in the past. The hope is that we continue to expand and grow the economy, get it to at least 10%. The GDP growth rate should be up to 10% to surpass the population growth rate and ensure that the economy is activated and the productive base given an impetus. That's the hope for 2018, a year that election is in full gear for preparations. We promised you yesterday we'll be speaking with those involved with the passage of the budget, a budget that should, in fact, raise the standard of good governance in Nigeria, but appear not to be receiving the desired attention. We are still making efforts in that regard. If it's not possible today, we'll just make it possible tomorrow. But today also we'll be dwelling on the APC. We've been on that party for days now. It held its National Executive Convention yesterday. National Executive Committee meeting yesterday, where far-reaching decisions were made. We predicted what will be the outcome. Extension of the tenure of the National Working Committee. We thought it would be by 2 years as recommended by the state chairman of the party. But at the end of the day, Oyego and Co., who are members of the National Working Committee, got 1 year extension. But does it really put an end to the crisis within the APC? Is the National Executive Committee empowered to extend the tenure of the National Working Committee? Should it not be the National Convention of the party that should do so? Anyway, we'll be welcoming the spokesperson of the APC, Bolaji Abdullahi, via telephone into this program. Adeba Bodore Asuja is with us in the studio.
Yes, we could say for now that APC has papered over the cracks on whether or not Oyegu should go or not go. But the critical issue is how, whether those decisions go down well with everybody within the party. Insiders say that at the time voting was taken, it was overwhelming. Only 2 governors spearheaded the move. From what we gathered, were opposed to the move to extend the tenure, while others overwhelmingly voted. In fact, 104 of the participants at the NEC meeting actually voted for the extension. But there is an issue which came up immediately after the NEC meeting. One of the governors, Governor Yari particularly, issued a statement, yes, questioning the decision on the basis of the fact that does the NEC of APC has the power to extend tenure, because his understanding is that extending the tenure is like amending the constitution, because the constitution provides for 4 years, and that 4 years will come to an end in June this year. So if it's extended now to June 2019, that's more or less a subtle way of amending the constitution of the party, and that is the critical issue that is made. But when we speak with Bolaji Abdullahi,
he will be able to
throw more light on that.
Of course. Okay, you want to add something more?
Yeah. What I want to add more is that at long last, the list of our unfortunate sisters and daughters who are adopted in Dapchi were released yesterday. And if you look at the age bracket, The oldest among them is 11 years.
Okay.
And you can imagine what
minors,
what will become of those kind. The oldest is, I mean, the smallest among them is 11, while the oldest is 17, 18. And you imagine those category of girls, what they are going through now, what trauma they are going through, and what will become of them. And it raises a critical question: are students safe in boarding schools?
At least in Chibok, it was a final year students, teenagers, but this time around we are seeing
there are those them who have just entered the secondary school.
So it's a more delicate situation.
It's a very, very delicate
making
situation.
reference to the action of the National Executive Committee of the PDP of the APC yesterday, Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State, who briefed journalists after tried to justify why the executive committee took that decision. He drew our attention to Article 13 of the APC Constitution, and that Article 13 empowers, according to him, the National Executive Committee to carry out the functions of the convention. So they believe that that article provides a window for them to indeed carry out and take over the functions temporarily.
But can NEC amend the constitution of the party?
Anyway, we saw how PDP extended the tenure of his own interim committee. A non-elective convention was convened in Abuja for that purpose. We hope Bolaji Abdullahi would clarify all this. But there are other questions that we'll be hoping to get answers to. Why did Bola Ahmed Tinubu not attend? The speaker did not attend. The leader of the party also did not attend the National Caucus meeting in the village a day before the NEC meeting. Have the issues he raised in the letter he addressed to the president and the party chairman been dealt with? Where does this leave Tinubu in the whole saga? Uju Eje is also with us.
Amechi, so many questions that the APC needs to answer. I thought that with the kind of experienced politicians you have within the APC, some of them who have been even from the UPN to AD, that the APC would try to get things very, very, right. Like, what would it have taken them to convene the kind of convention that the PDP convened, to extend the tenure of the caretaker committee, not to talk of, a standing NWC? It wouldn't have cost them anything. It's not good at times, to leave room for doubts and for insinuations, like what I believe the APC has done. But of course, they said they have their rule. Let's see what that constitution says. But I know that when it comes to things like this, it has always been through a convention that could even be done in 1 hour, and then you would have been seen to be on the path of the law, if I may put it that way. And then you talk about not seeing the speaker, the Senate president, and of course the leader of the party.
The Senate president was attending his trial at the Code of Conduct trial.
Amechi, if you ask me, I think it goes beyond that. Was the speaker also attending a trial?
But he was not at the caucus meeting when the trial was
Bola Tinubu also attending his trial? These are questions. Somehow there is more to this. I think that the cracks have not been successfully papered, and the APC should do more to put his house in order.
The deputy Senate president was humorous yesterday. Ike Keremadu was humorous yesterday on the floor of the Senate when the Senate leader, Dr. Ahmed, moved a motion that allowed them to
go for their neck meeting
and adjourn
the plenary.
First, when the issue was put to vote, a PDP member shouted "All Progressives crisis,"
and then Anike Keremadu said, "Well, whatever happens, we will allow you. When the house of your brother is on fire, you should allow him to go and quench it,
or even be part of it if he's truly your brother." Let's take your mails.
Welcome back. It's the mail segment. My name is Chidima Enyu.
And I am Etenikan Akepu. You're welcome.
Let's begin with the reaction to yesterday's analysis on the military and the attack on Dapchi schoolgirls. Nnamdi Akaleme writes from Nyanya in Abuja. He says, "Their political platform crew, in your yesterday's analysis, Amechi was trying to be economical with the truth. I do not agree with his comment that the insurgents have a good intelligence gathering network. The reason is this. In the attack that was carried out in both the Chibok and Dapchi schools, there is one common denominator. The military checkpoints within the vicinity were removed shortly before the attack. Please, Amechi, does this not point to one thing? That the Boko Haram insurgents have insiders within the military from whom they get their information on the appropriate time to strike. Does it not also show that they are Boko Haram apologists within the rank and file of the military? Does it not prove to you that the military cannot absolve itself of any connivance in the whole ugly situation? Until we identify the betrayers among us, the battle is still far from being won. God bless Nigeria.
And on the Peace Corps bill, Wisdom in Abuja says, the beauty of democracy and the democratic process is that it doesn't tie absolute power on any individual or group. It's no longer news that the president has rejected the bill seeking to establish Nigerian Peace Corps. Be that as it may, all hope is not lost yet. Section 58, subsection 4 and 5 of the 1999 Constitution thus says, and I quote, "Where the president withholds his assent and the bill is again passed by each house by 2/3 majority, the bill shall become law and the assent of the president shall not be required." At this point, I call on the National Assembly to, as a matter of urgency, exercise their constitutional power to quickly veto the bill that is the people's bill and seen to better the status of Nigerian youth.
Over now to voters registration matters. JC Ihanacho in Use Zone 5 Abuja says, their political platform crew, thank you for the good work you are doing. It is reflecting in the increased participation of Nigerians in the political process, starting with the kindled interest in the ongoing voters registration. While I want to commend INEC for their efforts so far on the ongoing voters registration exercise, I want to recommend that there should be a very deliberate effort to increase the opportunity of every eligible voter to register in this exercise. Let INEC considerably increase their awareness campaign and voters education, and let it be done in good time. In view of this, I recommend that the registration exercise should be deliberately allowed to go on even during public holidays. This will increase the window of participation by citizens in our electoral process.
Lastly, for today is a mail from Chukwuka Linus in the United States. He says, I am a regular listener of your program on YouTube here in the United States of America. Since the 11th of January 2018, I couldn't view the program. Is it that anything happened to my app or the program is not being aired again?
This is where we end it on today's mail segment. Please keep your mail coming tomorrow. politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's quickly respond to two issues raised by our listeners in their mails before we go to the APC. The CBN is aware of the shortage of a lower denomination currency. In fact, in Abuja yesterday, in response to traders' cries over the acute shortage, the CBN yesterday kicked off an exercise which is said is aimed at flooding the market with 100, 50, 20, and 10 naira, 10 naira, and as well as 5 naira notes. The bank, however, warned traders and other Nigerians not to hoard these currencies. The ceremony sensitization program took place at the Wuse market in Abuja. And yes, our program is not being uploaded to our YouTube channel in the last few days. It's because our server has been down, but we have rectified the problem. So today onwards, we shall, of course, be giving you that daily editions on our YouTube channel. But let's welcome Bolaji Abdullahi, the spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress, after a successful National Executive Committee meeting of the party yesterday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning.
So how successful was that meeting?
Well, very successful, very successful. I think once again, we're able to prove wrong those who were expecting that yesterday's net would be an opportunity for them to perform the role of undertakers for the party. So we're able to prove them wrong, and we are able to prove once again that we're a party that can hold our own, and that regardless of internal disagreement, we can resolve amicably and take wise decisions in the best interest of the party. So it shows that yesterday's net proved that we are making progress as a party. It was very successful.
We spoke with some of your members, some of your stalwarts, and they are not comfortable with the fact that the National Executive Committee, in their own words, to sub the powers of the National Convention, that it lacks the powers to extend the tenure of the National Working Committee, that is only the National Convention that can do that.
Well, the Constitution is very clear on that. The Constitution said the NEC can serve as, can perform all the functions of the convention in between conventions. That was the matter was raised yesterday at NEC. But in any case, I'm not a lawyer. If I'm anything, I'm a reporter. So I'm reporting to you that what happened yesterday, that majority of NEC members voted for the tenure extension. 140 members in NEC yesterday voted in support of extension. Only 4 people voted against. So whatever issue that is being raised, I think is the benefit of hindsight. And yes, we know that there are individuals who have other considerations, but the majority of NEC, members of NEC, that's the position that was taken yesterday.
We also noticed that some stalwarts of the party, like the Senate President, the Speaker, and the party's leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, were not present at that meeting. Does this not show that maybe the APC has not really succeeded in papering the cracks within the party?
No. Let me say, Asiwaju is not a member of NEC. If you look at the Constitution, NEC is constituted by elected officers of the officers of the party, whether in the executive or in the National Assembly.
But is he not also a member of the National Caucus?
You say what?
Is he not part of the National Caucus of the party?
Yes, and he was at the National Caucus months ago.
But we did not see him.
No, we didn't get you correctly.
He was at the National. You say what?
Was he at the National Caucus meeting of the party on Monday evening?
Yes. Asiwaju was at the National Caucus of the party on Monday.
But
he was not.
I didn't see him in any of the visuals. I know I saw Aremo Shegun Oshoba. I saw Chief Morgan.
If you don't see him, you don't see him. But I'm telling you that he was there. He was sitting on the high table.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you. Let me ask you this question. Among those who are opposed to this tenure extension were two strong members of your party. They were even actually governors. And one of them actually issued a statement yesterday night saying that NEC seems to have usurped the powers of the National Convention and indirectly amended the constitution of the party. Does that not raise a weighty issue?
No, but this governor you've met, I don't know who this governor is. With due respect, this governor did not canvass this position at the NEC meeting. So it was after we left all these things you are talking about. No single governor stood up to canvass this position at the meeting. The only person that said something close to it was Governor Rocha Sokorocha. It was the only person that raised the issue. And the people who were lawyers at the people like the governor of Ondo, who is also his son, got up and explained to him why NEC could take the position that he took.
Okay, now the convention will come up either June or July. And
yes, hopefully in June.
Yeah, one of the reasons why this and the tenure of the National Working Committee was extended was that the party was not ready to manage any crisis that may fall out from any convention starting from the world level. Does it not suggest that maybe the party is trying to postpone, shift the problem on its hands to another day instead of resolving it right away?
No. Like I explained in another program this morning. I mean, when you have a bleeding wound, you don't continue to stab that same wound. The least you could do is to at least stop stabbing the wound and hoping that you'll be able to get the way to patch it up and commence the process of healing. I mean, you yourself, like you said, we have issues across the country, in one state or the other. If in the context of these issues that Asiwaju has graciously accepted to resolve, we now proceed with congresses. Imagine that in a state A where we have 3 or 4 gladiators contesting for the soul of the party, you now do a congress in that state. You probably have 3 or 4 parallel congresses. Then you end up achieving what? Anarchy. So what we say that to give opportunity for Asiwaju to be able to effectively carry out this assignment that Mr. President has saddled him with. The least we could do is to minimize new arenas of conflict by ensuring that where we are today, at least we are able to stem the tide. Then he can go in and try to resolve it. Then within the period that we have, hopefully we'll have made progress with reconciliation. Then we can come back and begin to talk about electing new officers in the party. But at this point, even though it may make all the legal sense, it can make all the logical sense, but it doesn't make political sense. It's politically foolish for us at this point to begin to talk about congresses. And that is why, in the wisdom of NEC, it was agreed yesterday unanimously that the tenure of the executive officers across the country should be extended by another 12 months. We know that there are states where the governors are not very comfortable with their current executive, and we're looking forward to an opportunity very soon to do a congress and replace them. But unfortunately, majority will always win in a democracy.
What about the issues raised by Asiwaju Tinubu in the letter he sent to the president and other party members? Have they been addressed?
No, I mean, the issue was, as far as we are concerned, it was open and closed. Asiwaju's letter, which I eventually read, was based, I must say, on a false premise. He must have been misinformed, that the national chairman went to Kogi to inaugurate a new executive. That was the basis of his contention, and that's why he said the chairman was being obstructive. But it turned out that the chairman did not go to Kogi to inaugurate any executive. The chairman went to Kogi to commission a new party office that was handed to us by the state governor. No issue of executive came up in Kogi, and the chairman was the first to reaffirm to me that the current chairman remains, Adi Emeto remains the chairman of APC in Kogi. So it's obvious that Asiwaju's premise was faulty, and that's why you could see that the chairman wrote to him merely acknowledging the letter and reassuring him of his cooperation. I'm sure they have sat down and he has realized that he was not appropriately informed of what happened in Kogi. So for all it was an open and closed thing. Yes, it was an opportunity to also provoke some latent discontent. But I believe that these are part of the issues that we'll manage moving forward. Because Asiwaju assured us when he visited the National Secretariat that he has purged himself of all personal grievances that he may have harbored against individuals. So we believe that this will put him in a very strong position, to lead the process of healing the party.
Yeah, let me ask you this question, and it's out of worry by some Nigerians that our political parties in Nigeria don't take the issue of party supremacy very serious. And you see a situation in some APC states where some of your governors are acting as if they are above the party. Is your party afraid of holding a big stick against some of your members in a manner that demonstrates that it is the party in the first place that sponsored them before they could contest election?
Yes. I mean, you are very right. This is part of the consideration that we have, the concern that we have at the party level. For example, I was surprised when you say some governors came out and began to say things different from what the NEC. NEC is only the highest organ of the party next to the convention, right? So how can the NEC of the party take a decision, no matter how wrong, no matter how much you don't believe in it? Once the NEC takes a decision, you don't expect a party member to come out and begin to say something different, even if he's not happy with the decision. But I think that it's work in progress. Our party system is still very new, right? So, I'm not talking of only APC now. So I believe that with time, the parties will get stronger. But I think in a situation at this moment, the parties are not strong enough to be able to enforce the kind of discipline that they should be enforcing. But I believe that sometime in the future, if we keep working on it, we will get there. And that's why we are hoping that we can continue to strengthen this democracy. We wish all the parties to continue to rebuild. Even the PDP, that is the oldest party among us now, is still just 16 years old. So, and they lost one election, they've been grappling with their own issues, but they will overcome it too. I believe it's our interest for them to overcome it, just like we are going to overcome our own. And the party system will grow in Nigeria. So I believe with time, all these things will straighten out. But where we are today, you are absolutely right that some individuals within the party still see themselves as stronger than the party, or able to go in a different direction.
Okay, we must thank you so much for joining us and wish your party good luck in your endeavors as we approach the 2019 elections.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Bolaji Abdullahi, of course, wrapping it up, how it all went at the APC National Executive Committee meeting. Yes, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was at the National Caucus meeting, same with Dogara, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, but the Senate President was absent at both the National Caucus meeting and the NEC meeting, and Shiwaju, like he said, was not a member of the NEC meeting. When we come back tomorrow, we'll continue to make efforts to brief you on the progress the budget 2018 budget law is making at the National Assembly. Keep it with us.
Bust it.